This championship is absolutely incredible to be a part of, and honestly the Women's World Championship is such a good stepping stone and such a good starting block to, I guess, really destigmatise what it means to be a woman in sport. The championship is so competitive and so fierce. Yeah, so for me, I guess I started racing in a little bit of a different way than most. I don't have any family history in motorsport. I don't have any older brothers or younger brothers even that got me into the sport. Mum and Dad took me to a Crusty Demons race meet when I was 2.5 years old, and I threw a tantrum on the floor and demanded that Santa bought me a motorbike for Christmas, and luckily he did. And yeah, I guess the rest is history from there. I had such a different upbringing to most, most of my classmates, and while all of my friends were out partying, I was training and racing my motorbike on the weekend. And Mum and Dad sat me down and they just said, hey, do you really want to race? And I said, yeah, I know that I can race fast. I know I can race hard. I really want to do it. So they kind of just sat me down and said, hey, let's take that next step of your racing career. Let's homeschool you. Let's get you away from all of the bullying that I was experiencing. And yeah, let's go this next step. And that for me was a massive, I guess, turning point for me. And I think that made me a lot more headstrong, and why I'm so headstrong today was because of, I guess, all those challenges that I faced when I was younger. In terms of, I guess, taking my career professionally, was definitely when I won my first race in the Australian Championship. I was the first female to win a race in the Australian Championship, which was really cool. And I guess that just proved to myself that, hey, I can actually do it. I can race against the boys and I can beat the boys, and let's see where this career can take me. I can't believe that I'm here, and I've said it in an interview before, but for me this World Championship means that if I can even get one more female to start racing in Australia with hopes of one day racing in this championship, then that to me is as good as winning a World Championship. My whole entire racing career, I've raced against men. This is actually the very first time in my whole racing career, since I was 10 years old, that I have raced against women only. So it was actually a really hard transition, to be honest, coming into the Women's World Championship, because for so many of us, we entered this championship being the fastest in our country. And I know for a lot of girls who started this championship, they weren't used to other girls beating them. I've never had a female beat me before in Australia. So it was, honestly, that was probably one of the biggest and hardest transitions of coming into this championship, was realising, right, there's really fast girls, all around the world, and now I'm not winning all the time, or I'm not the fastest female in every single session. And yeah, that was I guess a really big challenge, really, heading into this championship. My proudest moment for sure was when I was the first Australian to podium in a World Championship here at Cremona last year, which was incredibly it was an incredibly heartwarming thing for me. We worked so hard to be here, and standing on that podium was better than I could have ever expected. And like I said, I never thought that I was going to be racing in a World Championship, let alone standing on the podium as well. The advice that I would give to any young women that want to start this sport is to simply just start. You never know where this sport can take you. It's such an emotional roller coaster, motorsport, and I think one of the biggest things is to just make sure you ride the wave and know that, yeah, sometimes there are some really big challenges that get thrown your way, but I can promise you that when you are standing on that podium in a World Championship, it is the best feeling in the whole entire world.